Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Theory, the #1 DraftKings prep show in all of the land. I'm your host, Monk, aka the Monkmatician, and in this very episode, guys, girls, we are going to be breaking down all 12 fights happening this Saturday, UFC Vegas 59 from a DraftKings perspective. So before we get into it, guys, be sure to check out, if you play DFS of any kind, any sport, check out teamriseorfall.com. Use code MONK. Save yourself up to $10 on a subscription today, and you get access to Discord, Fantasy Cruncher, all kinds of things that will help you secure your winning tickets for any sport when it comes to DFS. We have experts in every single sport, and football is right around the corner. So, guys, be sure to check that out, teamriseorfall.com. And also check out the MMA Engine. We got big things going on over there. Me, Wheezy, Brady, and Lou bringing you content every single day, several days a week before each and every single UFC card. So be sure to check that out, MMA Engine. And guys, lastly, like this video, subscribe to this channel. We are very close, getting closer and closer every day to 400 subs. So help me get on the break that 400 milestone, and that's where we're putting our sights on next. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into this card. The whole reason you're here, UFC Vegas 59, headlined by Thiago Santos and Jamahal Hill. First fight of the night, we've got Mayra Bueno Silva, and actually let me do just a little housekeeping. There we go. Mayra Bueno Silva going against Stephanie Egger. Guys, I'm on the dog on this one. Stephanie Egger's stats. She is $8,000, so she's cheaper, the cheaper of the two fighters here. She's coming in $333 over her average salary, so not bad. She has made the optimal lineup in both of her previous two fights, guys. Only 2.87 points a minute, but 106.84 per win, and that's over two UFC wins. Allows only 80 points, and a value of 10.21. Fantastic. She put up 104 when she won by KO and 109 when she won by submission. Absolutely love that. 1.44 points a minute in takedowns and control time. I mean, she's got every single category over Silva here, who is more expensive. 2.11 points a minute, only 84 when she wins. She allows 3.9 points a minute, guys, and almost 100 when she loses, and that is over two UFC losses. She's only put up put up 90 in 2 of 3 of her wins, and never touched triple digits. She's also giving up, remember all the points I said Stephanie Egger was scoring on takedowns control time? Silva is giving up 1.4 points a minute in those two categories. So I am really liking what I'm seeing from Stephanie Egger here. This one is, I believe, at women's bantamweight. The strength of schedules are both pretty bad. Anything under 70 is not great. You want to be 70 or above. Anything above 75 is fantastic. We're at 60s and between 60 and 70 here across the board for the most part. Egger with wins over Shanna Young and Jessica Rose Clark. Her one loss in her UFC debut to Tracy Cortez. Meanwhile, Silva 2-2-1 in her last 5 with losses to Moroz and Fioro. Wins over Barella and Wu Yanan. Here are my projections, pretty low for the most part. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be on the Stephanie Egger side here. You know, hopefully we get a third time on optimal. $8,000, not a bad salary to play either, as far as like salary voodoo goes. So give me the huge DraftKings upside for Stephanie Egger. 2 out of 2 times, 2 out of her last 2 fights making the optimal lineup. Fantastic. Next fight, I will probably be on dogger passing this one as well. Corey McKenna, Miranda Granger. What are we getting? We're paying $9,100. $9,100 for Corey McKenna. I believe she's the second or third. Actually, it says the third highest priced fighter on this entire card is Corey McKenna. 3.56 points a minute, pretty good. Only 83 in her one win. She allows over 3 points a minute, and she's $1,200 more than her average salary. Only an 8.65 average value. I mean, she does score, you know, decently as far as takedowns and control time. 0.91 points per minute in 30 minutes of fight time. She also allows a decent amount, almost 0.7 points a minute. Granger, on the other hand, allowing a ton of points. Takedown and control time. I'm going to probably be fading this fight as a whole. Let's see. McKenna scored 53 in a loss, 83 in her win over Kay Hansen. Granger 1-2 in her last 2. 57 is all she scored in a unanimous decision win over Hannah Goldie. So I'm not really too excited about either of these women as far as DraftKings goes. I'll be much higher on whoever we just talked about, Stephanie Egger, over either one of these women probably, but I'm not paying $9,100 for Corey McKenna. Granger has been finished in the UFC, has been actually only finished in one of her 2 losses. Sorry, it's very early right now, and I've actually changed to the night shift, so I am working overnights and coming home and doing these videos. So I know that's no excuse, but just bear with me here. McKenna, 3 wins in her professional career have come by finish. So yeah, I think this one goes to decision. I'm not excited about either one for DraftKings, and I'm certainly not going to have a ton of the $9,100 Corey McKenna. That could come back to bite me, but yeah, just not really too interested in that. Next fight, Jason Witt going against Josh Quinlan. Witt is $7,600, has made the optimal in 1 out of his past 3 fights. 11 of his 19 professional wins are finishes. He is 2-3 in the UFC. Some decent DraftKings upside here. Almost 5 points a minute. 2.99 points a minute over 30 and a half minutes of fight time. 106.86 per win. Also gives up a ton of points when he loses. Over 3 losses on average. 114 is what his opponents are scoring. Yikes. Josh Quinlan, he is yellow right here. That means he's coming off a Dana White Contender Series win. Well, usually it would be a win, but this was overturned. Now a no contest. And at first I thought it was weed, but no, it is for anabolic steroids. So yeah, cool. Probably a big fade here. Not only do we get the DWCS fight fade, but the you know, coming off of steroids fade as well. Almost 20 points a minute is what he scored. It is less than 1 minute of DWCS cage time, so don't really have a ton of stats here for him. He's gonna have to show me before I roster him in a bunch of lineups, but I mean, obviously you gotta have some, because Jason Witt could come out here and do Jason Witt things, which is get knocked out, KO'd very, very quickly. Strength of schedule is over 70. Josh Quinlan's is barely 40, so a very poor strength of schedule. His last 5 opponents' pro record is 9-16. Meanwhile, Witt 2-3 over his last 5. Loss, win, loss, win, loss. That means we're due for a win here. So let's go out and get it, Jason Witt. I like the $7,600 salary. Give me that one all day. Quinlan, I'll have a little bit just because, you know, this is unknown, super high variance. Witt has no chin and also hits like a truck. So, you know, if he catches you right. So, I mean, this could go either way. Who knows what Quinlan's going to look like, you know, post suspension. High variance, this one. Just be careful if you're going too much Quinlan, I guess. I don't know. This video is going to be rather short because this card has a ton of unknowns on it. I'm probably going to go very light on DraftKings this week. I am a stat guy, and there are tons of unknowns here. You think I watched the Ultimate Fighter? I did not. Takashi Sato going against Brian Battle. Speaking of the Ultimate Fighter, we have an Ultimate Fighter alum here, Brian Battle, 2-0 in the UFC. Has made the optimal in 1 out of those 2 fights. $8,700, 450 over his average. So far in his 2 UFC fights, 3.8 points a minute, but only 92 per win. Also gives up a ton, 3.47 per minute. Meanwhile, Takashi Sato, 2-3 in the UFC, coming off a dominant loss against Gunnar Nelson like 8 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. Actually, no, like 5 months ago. 1.61 points a minute is all he has scored so far in his UFC career. But when he does win, he's averaging 112.62. I believe he knocked out Jason Witt in the first round. I believe that was, yeah, first round KO. And then he scored a bunch on Ben Saunders as well. So gives up 3.45 points a minute. 1.2 points a minute in control time and takedowns. But he is 300 under his average salary here. Guys, this is another... I mean, I gotta lean Battle here. Takashi Sato's just giving me nothing as far as DraftKings. Unless he gets a knockout early, I don't see how he scores very well. And let's see, Brian Battle does have a finished loss in his career, but it was by submission. So we'll have to see, as you know, see if he can avoid getting caught. Strength of schedule for Brian Battle is god awful. 55.63 strength of schedule and a 52 strength of victory. Meanwhile, Takashi Sato is over 70 in 3 of 4 categories, over 80 in 1 of them. Coming off 2 straight losses, like I said, Gunnar Nelson and Miguel Baeza, and his other loss in his last 5 was to Bilal Muhammad. So that was a 3rd round sub. He's out here, you know, 4 of his last 5 have ended by way of finish. So something to think about there. Whatever side you're on, maybe play a couple extra percentages in case we do see a finish. Battle, unanimous decision over Trayshawn Gore, and then smashed Gilbert Urbina in I guess the tough finale probably for that weight class. Here are the raw DraftKings points per minute. Trending up is Bryan Battle, and trending down is Takashi Sato, which is not where you want to be when you're only putting up 1 point something points a minute, 1.61. Here are my projections and the visual statistical recap. A bit more as far as finishing goes for Takashi Sato. As we said, 4 of his last 5 have finished inside the distance. I'm sure Computer Monk thinks this one is going to finish inside the distance as well. Stick around at the end of the video. We will go over CM Monk's picks very quickly. Give me Bryan Battle in this one, man. Takashi Sato, I'm just not feeling too much. Like I said, maybe a few extra percentage points because his fights generally do finish. So I will be looking for that. But this could be a boring, fight where Battle, just kind of grapples Sato and holds him down, and Sato can't really do much. Kind of like we saw with Gunnar Nelson. What did Gunnar Nelson score in that one? 66 plus 30, so 96 wouldn't be too bad for Bryan Battle. He would 11, almost 11x his salary there, so that would not be too bad at all. Next fight, a must roster fight in my opinion. Terrence McKinney going against Eric Gonzalez. I'll have a ton of this fight, guys. Terrence McKinney is at the magical salary of 9,500, and Michael Morales last week, who was 9,500, did not make the optimal because 2 people scored like 100. I think Pavlovich scored 130 and Nunes scored 150. So we did have a 9,500 miss the optimal, which is rare. Not rare, but they make it more often than they don't. So this week, I would definitely put even more 9,500 in my lineups because they do make optimal well over 50%, and one just missed last week. So we're already due again. And we get Terrence McKinney in that spot. 2 out of 3 fights on the optimal lineup in the UFC so far. 2 out of his 3 UFC fights, I should say. He has, let's see, only gone out of the first round, I believe, in 2 of 16 fights. 14 of 16 professional fights have ended in the first round for Terrence McKinney. Scores 10.27 points a minute. That seems just incredible because it is 10.27 points a minute, 111.85 per win, allows 3.73. He's 2,200 over his average salary. That is a huge issue most of the time, but most guys aren't facing Eric Gonzalez. 6,700, that is the worst DraftKings salary to play. He is 0-1 in the UFC, 2.69 points per minute. Got 6.4 points a minute scored on him against Jim Miller, who knocked him out in the second round. Jim Miller knocked him out. So yeah, that's how I'd be looking to play this one. Long story short, I mean, Eric Gonzalez gives up a ton of takedown and control time. Terrence McKinney scores absolutely everywhere. He can take you down, control you, knock you down, knock you out. Finish you from anywhere, blah, blah, blah. His strength of schedule is actually pretty impressive for a guy with only 3 UFC fights, well over 70 in 3 of 4 categories, and just under in the strength of defeat. And then Eric Gonzalez has a decent strength of schedule as well. Actually, it's not decent. It's less than 70, and one of them is 56. So yeah, give me Terrence McKinney, a ton of Terrence McKinney at the magical salary of 9,500. I'll have, I don't know, 60-70% McKinney, and I will be over the field on Gonzalez too, because he will be probably single digits ownership, maybe less than 12 because we only have 12 fights, but he'll be very low owned, so I'll be over on him just in case something happens, a little bit of a leverage play, and at 6,700 that won't be a big deal. But yeah, Terrence McKinney is going in a ton of my lineups this week at the magical $9,500 salary. Next, don't blink. It's Michael Oleksiejczuk against smiling Sam Alvey. Yes, Sam Alvey is still in the UFC. Yeah, he's still in the UFC, guys. Yep. $6,900 is Sam Alvey. I believe he's owing $1 million in his last 7 fights. Somehow I think he lost one of those fights twice. I don't really know how that happens. You'll have to ask Sam, but he only is scoring 2 points a minute, 87 per win. I mean, he's 1160 under his average salary. Let's scroll through his, 6 of 10 wins. He scored over 90, 4 of them over 100, 3 over 110. He doesn't allow a ton of points in takedowns and control time, half a point per minute. I mean, his strength of schedule is good, over 70. Yeah, no strength of victory. 0-4-1 technically in his last 5, but if you go to his last 7, 8, 9, I don't know how long it's been since he's had a win. I think 2018, something like that. So yeah, we're not playing much of Sam Alvey here. Michael Oleksiejczuk looks fantastic, scores 3.26 points a minute, 106.42 per win, and this is over 4 UFC wins. He is 1,100 over his average salary with an average value of 8. 3 of 4 wins over 90, actually 3 of 4 over 100, and 2 of 4 over 110. So big DraftKings upside here. I think Sam Alvey's probably done. I know we've been saying that for a long time, but hopefully Michael Oleksiejczuk can come out here and put Sam Alvey down. He's got the 4th best power index on the card, 1.69, so he's getting knockdowns. Let's see what we've got here as far as knockdowns in the UFC. 5 knockdowns in 8 UFC fights. So meanwhile, let's see, Sam Alvey's been knocked down 5 times in his UFC career. So it has happened before, and hopefully it will happen again. I'll be high on the Oleksiejczuk side. 9,300 is a decent salary to play. I'll have a bit of Sam Alvey, but I mean, that's just for variance, guys. I mean, I'll have more Ghost Pepper, Eric Gonzalez, than I will Sam Alvey. I think Eric Gonzalez has a better chance to win than Sam Alvey has against Michael Oleksiejczuk. So I think Michael looks great. I think he's going to come out here and get it done. That's just how I see. He has lost to Owen St. Preux, Jimmy Crute, and Dustin Jacoby as of late. So he definitely needs a win, and a fight against Sam Alvey is a great way for a lot of guys to get a win, it seems like. So, like I said, hasn't had a win in like 4.5 years, something like that. So give me Michael Oleksiejczuk, $9,300. That is a lot to pay, but you're going against Sam Alvey. Like I said, I'm not going to have a ton of him. 2 points a minute, 87 per win. Not interested. Average value of 6. 6, guys. Not good. Next fight, Ariane Lipski going against Priscilla Cachoeira. Who do I like in this one? The DraftKings upside for Lipski is much better. This one is a women's flyweight fight, so you do have to target that, as they do make the optimal lineup at an over 51% clip, which is very good. Only 2 or 3 weight classes are that high as far as making the optimal lineup. 2.81 points a minute for Lipski, almost 100 when she wins, 98.5 points per win. She is 3-4 in the UFC, but actually both these women 3-4 in the UFC. So one of them's going for a 500 record here. 3.21 points a minute is what Lipski gives up. 100 is also what she allows when she loses, and she is 286 over her average. Excuse me, I think I missed the mute button there. Sorry. 2.24 points a minute is what Priscilla scores. 97 when she wins, guys. She gives up 5.36 points per minute and 117.5 when she loses. This is over 4 UFC losses. She's also coming in more expensive than Lipski as far as her average salary. $571 over her average. Not a fan of these numbers from Cachoeira. In 3 of 4 of her losses, she's given up over 100 points. I mean, Lipski's scored over 90 in all 3 of her wins. So I like the upside for Lipski a lot more than I do for Priscilla. The strength of schedule is 10 points better, almost 20 points better in a couple of categories here for Lipski over Cachoeira. Not even close. Both women are 3-2 in their last 5, with Cachoeira losing to Luana Carolina and Jillian Robertson, while Lipski lost to Shevchenko and De La Rosa back-to-back, but got a big win over Mandy Bohm, which, you know, Mandy Bum, as they say. Raw DraftKings points per minute, trending down for Lipski and also trending down for Cachoeira. Here are my projections, much higher for the Queen of Violence, Lipski. Cachoeira with a bit more real estate as far as finishing fights go and bonus points per win. And the aggregate professional and UFC career finishing percentages right around 50%. I will be interested to see what Computer Monk thinks, if this one's going to finish inside the distance or not. Man, I'm liking the upside of Lipski here. God, this fight kind of sucks, though. A lot of these fights are not great. Yeah, I'm going to go with the upside of Lipski here. Obviously, I'm going to have Cachoeira. She has made the optimal in 1 out of her past 3 fights. So there is precedent there. And at 7,800, she's worth putting in a few lineups. Heavyweight battle. Augusto Sakai going against Sergey Spivak. Man, how could you not be on the Spivak side here? At 8,800, he has made the optimal lineup in 2 out of his past 4 fights. 3.89 points a minute, 108.5 when he wins. 2.5 per minute is what he gives up. When he loses, he's also giving up 108 points. 675 over his average salary, guys. 4 of 5 wins over 100. 3 of 5 over 110. There is huge upside for Sergey Spivak here. I'm absolutely loving it. That 8,800 is a bit steep, but it's not too bad. It's only 675 over his average, and he has shown you know, ability to finish fights. 3 of his 5 UFC wins have come by way of finish. And he's going against Augusto Sakai, 7,400. Where are we at here? 3 in a row for Sakai. He's dropped to Overeem, Rosenstruik, and tied to Ivasa. He's going to have to get a win here against Spivak. I mean, I don't know what we're doing if we're keeping guys for 5 fights and 4 losses in a row. But the DraftKings upside for Sakai does not seem great. He is 671 under his average salary, but he only scores 2.53 points per minute, 87 per win. Gives up more than he scores, 2.82 a minute and 103.36 on average when he loses. Only 2 of 4 UFC wins over 90, one of them over 110. Meanwhile, all 3 he has given up over 90 points. Spivak also has mad control and takedown points per minute, 1.73 per minute, compared to Sakai, who has pretty much none. Fairly one-dimensional, it seems like. I'll definitely, I mean, I love the upside here for Spivak. Strength of schedule is pretty close. Both guys well over 70, so you do love to see that. Yeah, the last 5, not looking good for Mr. Sakai. Trending up is Sergey Spivak, well above his opponents. Trending way down is Augusto Sakai. Projections much higher, as you would imagine, for Spivak. And then Spivak dominating the real estate here. Only poking out Sakai is the last 5 strength of victory, but they are very, very close. And then the win rates as far as finishes go. I'm sure we think this one's going to finish inside the distance. I'm leaning Sergey Spivak. I like the $8,800 salary this week. I do think he can get a finish. Even if he doesn't, when he wins, well, that's not that great. When he wins by decision, just 75. When he won by split decision, though, 101 points. If he's finished in the fight, you can expect, I mean, historically, 121 points. This is huge, especially even at the $8,800 salary, I should say. So give me the upside for Sergey Spivak. This is a heavyweight fight. One side, at least one side, is low level. This might, 1.25, low level, something like that. So I will have a bit of Sakai because, anything can happen. Now, we get into the 2 quickest fights of the night for me. I'm a stat guy, and I have no stats for these fighters. This is the tough finale. The women's flyweight division and the men's heavyweight division. I did not watch Tough. I don't watch Tough. It's not like I'm better than watching Tough. I just don't watch Tough. So, yeah, I guess just watch Tough, I guess, is my advice to you if you want to play this. I'm going really light, as I said, on DraftKings this week because of these 2 fights, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just not going to, I'm just not going to play these fighters, and I'm not going to not play these fighters. I don't know anything about them. I'm a stat guy, and I don't watch his shit. So 8,300 for Miller, 79 for Walker. I mean, it's a women's flyweight fight. They make optimal lineup at a rate of 53%. So mathematically, one of these women has a chance of making the optimal lineup. I don't know what they do. Brogan Walker is 7-2. Juliana Miller is 2-1 professionally, with 2 wins by submission. Let's see, only 1 finish for Brogan Walker. 6-2. She is in decision, so just 1 sub win. The rest decision wins. So I'm not really. I don't know what I'm expecting. Let's look at the strength of schedule. Dog shit. For Juliana Miller, her professional record, or her opponent's pro record, is 5-8. Meanwhile, Brogan Walker's last 5 opponents pro record, 40-19. She's a little closer to 70. I mean, Juliana Miller, 41.67 strength of schedule, 22 strength of victory, 38 opponent win percentage. Yeah, low level. My projections are even meaninless. I got nothing, guys. I got nothing. I'm not the right guy. I mean, you want DraftKings stats, you come to me. But if you want something like this, you're gonna have to get somebody that watches Tough and puts themselves through that. I mean, what's worse here? Let me know in the comments what's worse, doing fight tape for Dana White Contender Series or fight tape for these Tough finales. What is worse? Honestly, they both sound terrible. Yeah, let's keep it moving. Sorry, I don't have anything for you. Zach Pauga going against Muhammad Usman. I think this is Kamaru Usman's brother. I think. I hope I'm right about that. 5 of his 7 professional wins have come by decision. 1 of his losses, 5 of his 7 wins have finished inside the distance. 1 loss, he did get subbed. Zach Pauga has finished 1 fight. 4 of them have gone to decision. Very unusual for a heavyweight. These salaries are crazy. $8,900 for a guy that I've never heard of, going against $7,300 for a guy who's somebody's brother. Yeah. That's the kind of balls deep, you know, breakdowns that you get from me. Let's see here. The strength of schedules are a bit better, just under 70 for Pauga and right around 50 and even under 50 for Usman. So not great. Definitely leaning Pauga here. I guess you have to lean Zach Pauga because the odds favor him so much. And I hear Usman is not very good, but that's just what I hear. I mean, I don't have a clue, guys. $8,900 is a lot. I do know this. $8,900 is a lot. The 5th highest salary for a guy that's never fought in the UFC and has 5 professional fights. Even if he is going against a guy that has also never fought in the UFC with 9 professional. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there you go. That's what you get from me on this one, unfortunately. All right, now let's keep it moving. 2 fights left. This might be the shortest game theory video ever. Vicente Luque going against Geoff Neal. Gosh, but we're back on track, just barely. Vicente Luque, one of the most fun guys to watch fight, in my opinion, especially at the welterweight division. $8,500, a great salary to play. 1 out of 3 fights, he's made the optimal. 1 out of his past 3 fights, he's made optimal. 3.31 points a minute. 3.41 is what he gives up per minute. But when he wins, guys, almost 107 points. This is over 14 UFC wins. This guy is a scoring machine. One of the higher ceilings on the card, his average value of 10.28. And somehow, we are getting him $264 under his average salary. And he's still the favorite in this fight. This is huge if you're on the Luque side, which I probably am. Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. Let's see, 14-4 in the professionally 6-2 in the UFC, $7,700, which is now the second. That's right, the second best salary you can possibly play in all of DraftKings statistically is the $7,700 salary. I will be targeting this fight. I'll have a ton of this fight, probably my highest owned fight of the entire card. If I'm playing DraftKings this week, as I said, there's so many questionables here. Just good luck if you're playing this week. I might save it for one more week. 2.94 points a minute is what Neal scores. 94 when he wins. Nothing spectacular here. He is $1,000 under his average with an average value of 9.2. Let's see here. 4 of his 6 wins have been over 90 points. 3 of them over 100, and 1 of them over 110. Meanwhile, yeah. What is that, like 12 or 13 wins for Luque over 90, 78% of them over 100, 35% over 110. This one's going to be fantastic, guys. I mean, Luque has 19 of his 21 professional wins have come by way of finish. 19 out of 21 finishes. Incredible. And 10 out of 14 for Geoff Neal. What's that, 70%? Strength of schedule is very good for both guys. Luque dominating it, though. 75, over 75 in every category. Meanwhile, Geoff Neal just under 75 in 3 out of 4 categories. Luque coming off of a big loss against Belal Muhammad. Just did not have an answer for what Belal Muhammad was doing. But before that, smash Nico Price, smash Randy Brown, smash Tyron Woodley, smash Michael Chiesa in the first round. Guys, these are all 4 wins, 4 finishes, rather. And then Geoff Neal, how has he been losing? 2 unanimous decisions, one to Thompson, not a good look, and 1 to Magny. Rebounded with a split decision win, very close fight over Santiago Ponzinibbio. I love Vicente Luque here, absolutely love him. He'll be, yeah, this is going to be a very high owned fight for me, for sure. Stick around, see what Computer Monk thinks, but I love, like I said, you cannot pass up these salaries. 2 very, very good salaries to play. And we got 2 great fighters here coming off of these 2 tough finales, which should be, have the possibility to be snooze fest. This is a good co-main event. I do favor the Luque side. I will have more ownership of him, but I'm no slouch on the $7,700 salary. I don't care if it's Geoff Neal or I don't care who it is. I'm playing that salary. So I will have a ton of this fight. Main event, guys, before we get into it, hit the like on this video, hit the subscribe to the Monk Maddox channel. I really appreciate it. On the road to 400. Yeah, let's do it. And check out teamriserfall.com. Use code MONK, M-O-N-K. Save yourself $10 on a subscription today. Main event, Thiago Santos. I don't know how this is still happening. Going against Jamahal Hill. Short and sweet, guys. I like Jamahal Hill here, and he is at a magical salary of $99,000. It's the 3rd or 4th best salary to play statistically, it goes 9,500, it goes 7,700, and I think it goes 9,000. So you please believe I'll have those three, a bunch of those three salaries in my lineups this week. Hill has made the optimal in 1 out of his past 3 fights. That was probably the, oh no, I was going to say Johnny Walker, but it was definitely the Jimmy Crute fight, which he scored 126. I believe a quick win bonus. Fantastic DraftKings upside, 3.87 points per minute is what Hill scores, 99 per win over 4 UFC wins. He is 550 over his average, but nothing crazy. Santos only allowing 2.07 points a minute and 89 per loss, but he has been finished 5 times in the UFC. 5 out of 9 UFC losses have come by way of finish. He is $1,300 under his average salary. I like the upside of Hill here. 3 of 4 wins over 90, 2 of them over 100, and 1 over 110. I just think Thiago Santos is going to get knocked out again. That's how I see this one, honestly. The strength of schedule is not even close. Jamahal Hill just at 70 across the board. Meanwhile, Thiago Santos, 85 opponent win percentage. He's lost he's 1-4 in his last 5. But check out who he's lost to. John Jones. Ever heard of him? Glover Teixeira, Alexander Rakic, and Magomed Ankalaev. These guys are no joke. 3 decision wins, and he did get subbed in the 3rd round by Teixeira. He did beat Johnny Walker in a very close fight, whereas Jamahal Hill smashed Johnny Walker. Only loss for Jamahal Hill in his last 5 was to that's not the word I'm looking for. We'll skip it. Just pretend I didn't say that. Paul Craig. But rebounded after that loss with wins over Jimmy Crute and Johnny Walker. Guys, I love the Jamahal Hill side here. I will be very high on him this week, probably very low on Santos. I do not expect Santos to get a win here. I just don't. He's 1-4 in his last 5. If Hill loses this one, I would be pretty shocked. Santos is 38, almost, closer to 39 than he is to 38 at this point. Whereas Hill just turned 31 a few months ago, not even in his prime, probably. And he has tremendous DraftKings upside, whereas Thiago Santos does score well per win, but that's when he was relying on getting finishes, guys. He does have 11 out of 14 wins in the UFC have come by way of finish, but that has not happened in several years at this point. So give me Jamahal Hill, the up-and-comer, the great salary of $9,000, and I will probably be under the field on Thiago Santos. Guys, that is going to do it. All 12 fights broken down, some of them not so much broken down, but we have no stats. I'm the mathematician. I'm the stat guy. And if I have no stats, what am I really going to do? So let's check out CM Monk's picks for UFC Vegas 57. Let's make this a little bit bigger. We've got, starting at the bottom, looks like 2 dogs picked. Stephanie Egger, the underdog, 60-40. Computer Monk likes her over Bueno Silva. Then we've got Corey McKenna going against Miranda Granger. We've got Josh Quinlan somehow. This must be, I have no idea how or why. I'd personally be on the other side of that, but I'm also staying away from this one. A DWCS guy that was suspended for steroid use. Brian Battle, big favorite over Takashi Sato. Oh yeah, decision finish for Quinlan, and battle by finish. Terrence McKinney over Ghost Pepper, early finish. I mean, CM Monk likes this fight 92% for Terrence McKinney. That is the biggest disparity I've seen probably ever, against less than 8% for Ghost Pepper. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk going against Sam Alvey, almost 59-41, and Michael by finish. Ariane Lipski over Priscilla Cachoeira by decision. Augusto Sakai losing to Sergey Spivak by finish. Someone named Brogan Walker over someone named Juliana Miller by decision. Muhammad Usman losing to Zach Pauga by decision. Vicente Luque, here we go, going against Geoff Neal. We've got Vicente Luque by decision. Very interesting, and it is a very close fight. 51-49. This one could be the best fight of the night. Luque and Neal right here. And then finally in the main event, CM Monk picking Jamahal Hill over Thiago Santos, 55%-45% by finish. How many finishes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 finishes and 6 decisions on this card for CM Monk. That is what we have got for this one, guys. That's going to be it. What are we at? 35 minutes, the shortest game theory ever, thanks to some of these tough competitors that we have no stats for. So one more time, guys, hit the like, hit hit the subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to check out the MMA Engine and get on over to Team Rise or Fall. Check that out. See if it's for you. If it is, use code MONK, M-O-N-K, save yourself $10. And be sure to check out Salary Voodoo coming your way on the MMA Engine. Be sure to check me out on the Pub Sports Radio Show tonight, where we just go over our DraftKings lineups. That should be very interesting for this week. And then Friday, happy hour with me and Lou Betya on the MMA Engine channel. And then Sunday morning, we'll do the morning after UFC Vegas 59. So check all that out. Like I said, you can see me several days a week before and after each and every UFC card. So guys, thanks a ton for being here. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. And as usual, I want all of you to enjoy the fights. So enjoy, and we will see you next time.